Is Medellin still working in 2026? I know a lot of people have been reading the headlines and everything like that about guys being denied entry, guys being maybe drugged at a higher rate than, before. And a lot of people are kind of asking, like, okay, is Medellin still that city as it used to be, let's just say 5-6 years ago when I first visited, That's what we're here to talk about today, man. So I'll start with you, Esme MIA. You out there, man, is it still, a delightful city to be in? Is it still energetic, still fun? Or are they kind of looking at foreigners a certain way?
Well, it has changed, not as drastically as a lot of social media puts it as, but as far as how the locals are looking at some of the gringos, expats, see some of the looks because they're starting to generalize a little bit. You hear these stories about some just getting deported as soon as they get here, so they start to have a mentality for like, oh, they just coming out here to mess with and just do drugs and the whole nine. I don't really go out to the major touristy spots anymore, but I hear from some cats that I know, like maybe some family members that's been out here that go out there for the first time, and some people that still stay out here to go out there. They say that the police are still they're cracking down on some of the loitering going on. So if you're out there just sitting in one spot with your phone out in your hand, trying to just catcalling all night, they're gonna tell you just to keep it moving, and that keep it moving is kind of like a warning. So if they find you doing it again, I don't know what happens next. Maybe a ban from the area, but they're cracking down on people just standing around trying to grab numbers all night.
Okay, so hold on. Are you saying that you can be on like Calle Diaz or something and just kind of like just hanging out, having a beer or something, and they can the police can put you to the side and say, hey, what are you doing? And
I think it's area Pacific. Like I said, yeah. I haven't been out there in a while. I have a homie of mine that just stepped out just to have a beer the other night, and I think he thought himself having some small talk with someone. And the police came up to him and asked him to, just to kind of just keep it flowing instead of just feel. So, I don't know. Karan has more input on that.
Yeah.
Like I said,
no, I saw a couple of people got in some situations like that. Like one specifically, there was this guy, a friend of ours, a friend of mine. She was standing out in Poblado with him. But because you're standing with a female who appears to be soliciting, the police will automatically assume that there's some sort of exchange, some sort of transaction happening. So what happens is they walk up to them and say either you keep moving or they ask them for the ID. So what happened with this guy, the police asked for ID. She gave him the ID. She got a ticket because they know her as a freelancer down there in Poblado. And what happened is the guy didn't want to pay the money. So they took him back to the Airbnb. He packed his bags and he had to go straight back to the airport.
Hold on, Crow. So what you mean pay the money? The cops asked him for money?
The cops asked him for some money. And
what?
Because he didn't want to pay it, I think it was like $300-400. And because he didn't want to pay it, they took him back to the Airbnb, had him pack his bags straight to the airport.
So is that USD or pesos?
USD.
300 to 400 USD.
USD.
That is crazy, bro.
No, there's a lot of
that is crazy.
There's a lot of different things that happened. I was in the airport a couple months ago, and I ran into this young black man coming out of the airport. So I stopped him to ask him if the line was long on the inside, because I was waiting for somebody. He said, yeah, the line's a little bit long, but I took a little longer because they pulled me out of the line. I was like, they pulled you out of the line? He said, yeah, they pulled him out the line, asked him for his phone, came back to him and said, hey, we saw some pornography in your phone, in your pictures and your video items. So now you have to pay a fee of $300. He said, but I don't have any pornography in my phone. He said, no, sir, this is not up for debate. It's either you pay the $300 now or you jet back to wherever you came from. So obviously he already paid it. He paid it because he already paid for his Airbnb, the flight, everything. So it was, it was a no-brainer. But he was just taken back by that. And I had a conversation with him right outside of the airport when that just happened. So I got it word for word, straight from the horse's mouth.
do you think this is being applied to all foreigners or just brothers?
Well, from what he was saying, he said he felt as though he was targeted because he was in a group of people. Now, to specify it to race, I don't want to be that flagrant and say it like that, but he said it seems to be a common trend with groups. If you're coming with a group of men, they usually assume, you know, different types of agendas when it's a group of men between certain ages. So he was between that age and that group, and therefore he got shuttled out just as one person randomly. The rest of them, there was 4 of them. The other 3 came out about 20 minutes later, and they were like, they didn't get called in, but he did.